Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee, definitely a snack, and let's get into it. So, I have a serious question for you. Do you want to live like this? Social and carbon credit system, drones with facial recognition and movement sensors, mobile phones, mandatory arm candy, rationing of food and energy, patent on seeds and restricted access to heirloom foods, abolishment of genders, ban on alternative medicine and treatments, universal basic income for citizens who comply with the current things, controlled fertility and reproduction, elimination of cash, rationing of energy and other natural resources, abolishment of private property. You will own nothing and be happy. The fourth industrial revolution, big tech, LOT, AI, digital currencies. Is that something that you can live with? Did you know that Stalin had a 5-year plan from 1928 where farming was collectivized, meaning the land would no longer belong to the individual but the state? An estimated 9 million people perished. A member of the CCP, and I know I'm not going to pronounce this person's name correctly, so I'll just spell it out for you. Mayo, M-A-O, and then Z-E-D-O-N-G, had a 5-year plan from 1958, the Great Leap Forward, with the goal to modernize agriculture. An estimated 45 million perished. Now, the WEF currently have an 8-year plan, which is Agenda 2030, of zero net carbon demonizing farmers. As bad as these statistics are, it's even worse when you look at the entire picture and the very will to thrive and move forward being sapped from people like the globalist. Look at the birth rates. Norway, down 6%. Stockholm, down 14%. Germany, down 12%. Taiwan, down 27%. Britain, down 9%. Netherlands, down 11%. They have all fallen all over the world at the same time this year. Why isn't this bigger news? Do you want to continue to live like this? I know I certainly do not. You know, if they want to continue like this, you know, American farmers are killing their own crops and selling cows because of the extreme drought. Did you know that? And that is because of weather manipulation, whether you want to believe it or not. It really truly is. Nearly 3/4 of U.S. farmers say this year's drought is hurting their harvest with significant crop and income loss. This year's drought conditions are taking a harder toll than last year's, as 37% of farmers said they are plowing through and killing existing crops that won't reach maturity because of dry conditions. And that's a jump from 24% last year. July was the 3rd hottest on record for the U.S. and ranked in the top 10 for every state in the West except for Montana. Its rapidly intensifying drought gripped the central and southern plains and mid-south, depleting topsoil moisture and significantly stressing rangeland pastures and various summer crops. The effects of this drought will be felt for years to come, not just by farmers and ranchers, but also by consumers. Many farmers have had to make devastating decisions to sell off their livestock that they have spent years raising, or destroy orchard trees that have grown for decades. In California, a state with high fruit and nut tree crops, 50% of the farmers in the state said they had to remove the trees and multi-year crops due to drought, which will affect future revenue. And 33% of all U.S. farmers said that they had to do the same, nearly double the number from last year. And farmers in Texas, they're being forced to sell off their cattle herds earlier than normal due to the extreme drought. Water resources dry out and grass is burning up. Farmers in the Lone Star State reported the largest reduction in herd size, down 50%, followed by New Mexico and Oregon at 43% and 41% respectively. So this is all tying in together with their agenda. It truly is. I don't care what anyone says. It's all tying in together. So there's also this. Did you know, or did you ever hear of this? It's called carbon food labels. It's when the COP26 climate conference took place in Scotland just last year. Participants got something they probably haven't seen before, because I know I've never seen this. They were menus that listed the carbon footprint for every item that was being offered, from salads and vegetarian sandwiches to fish and chips, Scottish beef burgers, stuff like that, okay? And there was a reason for this, they said, which was partly responsible for pulling the carbon footprint information together. It was a place called, food activist called Klimato, Klimato. They felt that despite food being responsible for generating just over a third of the world's carbon emissions, it was noticeably absent from the COP26 agenda. Did you ever notice, are you seeing the big picture here? There's agenda attached to everything. Okay? Adding the carbon footprint was a way of ensuring that food's impact on the climate was not going to fly under the radar. Really. Today, scientists are asking whether having carbon labels on food items might actually help people make more informed choices. Not only about the food that they consume, but also the ingredients that they buy. People are much more attentive to food now. It's not because of the carbon footprint, in my opinion. It's because of the price. And it's because if that's going to fill up for less money, if that's going to fill up my kid's stomach for less money than buying this, then I'm going to go with that. So this is just, this is happening in countries including France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, the UK, and the US. And they're all supportive of this idea of having carbon labeling on the food. With support for the idea is highest in France and Spain and Italy. Now, some are disagreeing with this, like candy. Mars Incorporated, okay? They believe that consumers still don't know much about the climate impact of the food and that there's a much bigger consumer challenge than just popping a label on food. These labels are a good experiment, they think, but there are good steps in the right direction, but it's not sufficient, they say. Now, some companies aren't waiting. They're just doing it. Denmark has already agreed, and they set aside $1.3 million to develop carbon labeling proposals, and that's going to start by the end of 2022. While food companies like Oatly and Curon, and that's Quorn, have already taken the initiative to inform the public about carbon footprint of their products. As Carbon Cloud's chief executive puts it, access to accurate information is important because the public's gut feeling is absolutely terrible when it comes to judging which steps of food production created the most emissions. No, it doesn't. No. That's what you're saying, but that's not what we're saying. Okay? Don't put words in the consumer's mouths. So, we're more worried about our wallets, our children's bellies, our bellies. Pretty much how much bang for our buck. Because soon enough, it's going to become too expensive to even buy food because we're going to have to worry about keeping the lights on. Oh, wait, that's right. Digital currency. UBI. Biden bucks. Do you see what I mean? Everything is all coming together. It's all connecting the dots. Everything is agenda, agenda, agenda. This is not going to be easy, guys. It's really not. All right? I want you to think really hard and prep like you, because it does. Prep like your lives depend on it. All right, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless.